Okay, our topic today is going to be how to get trucks to move your loads. Basically, what I'm talking about specifically is, all right, you're a new broker. Maybe you're a broker agent. You've been making your sales calls. You've been acquiring customers. You have been obtaining loads, or your customers have been making loads available to you on a daily basis, but you're not getting any trucks. You can't get trucks to haul your loads. So how do we do this? What do we do? Well, being a new broker, that's just going to be par for the course. That's the way it goes when you first start out. And a lot of that is simply because as a new broker, you have no credit rating. You have no days to pay or anything like that. You're new. Generally, a trucking company is going to want you to be in business for at least a year before they think about using or hauling any of your loads. If you've been in business for a year, that kind of tells the trucking company you're going to be around. You're stable. Now, these credit scores, days to pay, things of that nature, and factoring companies, that's just something you're going to have to work your way through. There's no easy way to do that. But generally, after a few loads, you move a few loads, trucking companies start reporting how you pay and things like that. Yeah. Now, I will tell you this, factoring companies love brokers that factor their invoices. And you know where we stand on factoring. Factoring is something we highly recommend you stay away from as a broker. It's not good for a number of different reasons, but one that comes to mind immediately is you're going to lose control of your account. All right, because once you factor an invoice from one of your customers through a factoring company, well, your customer is going to get a nice letter of assignment from that factoring company, basically telling that customer that you have assigned their invoices to that factoring company, so therefore you've given up the right to direct bill that factoring company. Now, how do you get out of that? Every factoring company is different. You got to read the fine print. Another thing that we talk about when it comes to factoring companies is simply, if you're using a factoring company, well, if that customer is 1 day late paying their invoice, that factoring company, they're going to start dunning your customer. Your customer is going to start getting collection calls. How long will they put up with that? And the other thing about that is these people making the collection calls, they don't work for you. They work for the factoring company. Their concern is getting the money. It's not taking care of your customer. Although they'll tell you, we'll play nice, but when it comes right down to it, you have no control. They're not your people. So you got to pay attention to them. So how do you get trucks to move your loads? Well, there's a few things you can do. First thing is if a truck has committed to a load and then they back out, more times than not, it's because you're new. You're going to have to call that trucking company, call that dispatcher, and ask why. Why are y'all not moving the load for me after you said you would? And they're going to say, well, you were denied. We couldn't move it for you. Somebody said no. Ask to speak to that person that made that decision. Now, sometimes it might be the factoring company that told the trucking company, no, they're not going to approve you. So what you need to do is talk to somebody above the dispatcher, in accounts receivable or whatever. And even if it's somebody in accounts receivable that did not approve you or your credit, you still contact them direct. Ask to speak to that individual. When they get on the phone, explain, plead your case, basically. Let them know, hey, we're new. We understand that trucking companies do not like working with new brokers because we're not proven. But if you give us a chance, load by load basis, what we will do is offer quick pay. Free, no fee quick pay. Matter of fact, if you're able to provide advances to a carrier, if you're in a position to be able to provide an advance, 40% advance is good faith money. Offer the carrier a no-fee advance or no-fee quick pay. That way they don't have to go through a factoring company on your loads. They can, they're still getting the benefit like a factoring company. They're still going to be paid quick, but you're putting that 40% good faith money up front. Then you're going to follow it by paying them quickly. And I do mean pay them quick. Don't make them wait. Don't make them wait 30 days. You get the money to them quick so you can prove yourself. That is going to do nothing but help you. That carrier will want to use you over and over again. I was looking at a factoring company website here a while back, and that website was actually talking about how bad it is for a broker to offer quick pay to a carrier or even an advance. The factoring company was against that. I wonder why. They were trying to come up with every reason in the book they could think of why that would not be a good idea for a trucking company to use a broker that way. And the bottom line is they don't want you to do that. They don't want you to work with a broker that will give you, provide advances or quick pay, because it knocks them out of money. You know what I mean? They're not getting their 3, 4, 5%, whatever they may charge. Okay, so another thing you can do when you're looking to get more trucks or get trucks to work with you as a new broker, start contacting trucks in the afternoon. Introduce yourself. Call them. Introduce yourself to management at that trucking company. I'm not talking about a dispatcher. You can start there, but work your way up. You want to talk to somebody above the dispatcher, actually. Start talking to them. Make contact. Plead your case again. You're a new brokerage. You'd like to get set up. You'd like, with that carrier. You'll make concessions maybe for the first month or two, 6 months even. You'll provide them no fee advances, no fee quick pay. You see, what you're trying to do is develop that reputation. Now, if you don't want to, put that out on the line in the beginning, or maybe you're unable to, offer that quick pay and advance scenario, you can still contact the carriers and try to get set up with them. If you can get set up with them and them with you, when they open it up on their TMS, you're there, you're set up. There is no, now you're new, we can't work with you, because you're already in their TMS. You had talked to somebody, they said, yeah, okay, we'll set up with you, blah, blah, blah. You got to talk your way in. Now, another way is, and this is obvious, I'm saving the obvious for last, obviously, the load boards. So many times I see brokers use load boards, not to their advantage anyway. If you get in there, you got to start thinking, when you're looking at the load board, trying to find a truck, you've got to think like a trucking company's thinking when it comes to a load. And you want to call the obvious first. We go through this in training. In training, when we are talking about finding trucks, we have a lot of different ways to find trucks, different methods to use. Because one, you've got to have more than one tool to help you find a truck. Because someday you're going to have a load you can make $500, $600, $700 on. And if you don't have multiple tools to help you find a truck, if you've ran out of trucks to call to try to sell your load to, now you're on the bench. You see what I mean? You're on the bench. You're starting to see that big old load net fly away. The thing is, somebody's going to move your load. There's a truck out there that will take that load. They will haul that load. The thing is, you've got to get to that truck before somebody else does. That's why you need all these different tools available to you. But in training, we go through that. If you're thinking about becoming a freight broker, maybe you are a freight broker, you're having trouble finding trucks, maybe you're wanting to work from home and you've been thinking about working as a freight broker, I invite you to check out Taltoa, TALTOA.com. We've been in business for over 20 years. In transportation, pushing 30. And we have consulted, trained, assisted thousands of individuals and companies with their broker operation. If you're thinking about starting your own brokerage, we always recommend start out as a broker agent. As a broker agent, you're going to be working under a licensed broker. So you're not going to have to go out here and get your own authority, bond, all that kind of stuff. You're going to be working under that broker's credentials. You're going to be an agent for that company. Now, as an agent, you work at home. Well, that's where most freight broker agents set up shop, is at home. If you want to go out and get an office, that's totally up to you. But my recommendation to everyone is keep that overhead low until you start producing an income. Now, how long does it take to produce an income? Everybody's different. I've had clients that 30 days later, they were getting a pretty good paycheck every week. I know that because we were writing the paycheck. I've had other clients, 3 or 4 months later, they were still trying to move their first load. It all goes back to the individual, if you want to get right down to it. It's your business. As a broker agent, yes, it is your business. You work it like you want. If you get out there and you hustle, you do like you should be doing, you're paying attention to details, there's no reason why you can't have a successful broker operation. But if you're just doing this a little bit here, a little bit there, heart's not really into it, it's going to take a lot longer to build up that business. Because what you want to do, you want to get in there, hustle up your customer base, have a quantity of loads, and from that quantity of loads, you're going to start focusing or learning from experience which loads are going to make you money. That's going to allow you to focus on what makes you money. And I call that, trying to get through that startup period. Once you get on the other side of that startup period, that's when being a freight broker really gets fun. If you like to wheel and deal, that's when it's going to happen. But how to get trucks to move your loads? The load board. Like I said, look at the loads. When you're using a load board, by default, automatically it's going to default the trucks that are available by age of posting. My recommendation is immediately, once you get the results, sort it by deadhead origin. That way you're having the trucks at the top are going to be the closest trucks to your load, the less deadhead, especially with fuel prices pushing $6 a gallon. The less deadhead for a trucking company, the better. Then focus on your destination. Where does that truck want to go? Find the trucks that want to go to where your load's going. Start calling them first to work your way out. And I know a lot of brokers will set their search criteria, look no further than 2 hours, 1 hour, for a truck. And I always recommend, go as the day goes. If it's noon, I may have my, search 6 hours back for any trucks that match my search criteria that have posted within the past 6 hours. Now, a lot of brokers are going to say, no, that's a waste of, that's a waste, because more than likely, those dispatchers, they got a load for that truck. They just haven't taken it off the load board. True. But there are a lot of dispatchers out there that forget about their posting and they don't refresh it to make it look new. I can't tell you how many trucks I've found that have been posted for 4 or 5 hours because the dispatcher just simply Then you go back in and refresh. There are a ton of ways to start getting trucks to help you move your loads. If you're, we talked about no fee advances, no fee quick pay. If you're wondering how to do that, if you got any type of a good relationship with your bank, go talk to your bank. Get an open line of credit for X amount of money, whatever, you can obtain. The idea is you're not using a factoring company. You retain control of your own customer base. Factoring company's not involved at all. You're able to offer the trucking company quick pay advances, and as soon as the customer pays you for that load, you can pay the bank back immediately. Keep that line of credit open. It's going to be a lot cheaper. Matter of fact, a lot of times, if you're able to pay the bank back within that 30-day period, 31 days, within that month, no interest. So think about that. Again, if you'd like to learn more about Taltoa, check us out, taltoa.com, TALTOA.com. If you go to our website and you're looking over the different packages and you have questions, feel free to call me, 479-668-0838.